Hi there. So today I am going to be I'm going to be getting the chicken out of the oven. Just a second. Today I wanted to come on here and start polishing a potential Petoskey stone that I found in my garden. I didn't technically find it in my garden. It probably ended up there from me finding it in Lake Michigan somewhere. Every once in a while, Nate and I will go rock hunting up north along the coast of Lake Michigan, and sometimes we'll find some really cool rocks and bring them home, and I'll use them to decorate things in my garden or to decorate things around the house or whatever. And the other day I was out in my garden and I seen this stone and it caught my eye, and I thought, boy, that kind of resembles a Petoskey stone. It's kind of blurry. There's a better view of it, and don't mind my fingers. I just painted a bench yesterday, so I still have black on my fingers. But if you get it wet, it will sort of resemble what it will look like after it's polished. So I've got some water here. I'm just going to dip it in the water and kind of soak it up, and then I'll show you what it looks like now after it's kind of shiny from the water. And it is, in fact, a Petoskey. Here, let me flip it. Here you go. Here's a better view. And it is, in fact, a Petoskey. I'm not sure how good I will be able to shine this up, but we will try our best. It's kind of a better view there. You can see the pattern around each of those little round circles. And the back of it is really not polishable because there's that kind of fossil-like dip in there, but we could totally polish the front of it. Now, typically if I'm polishing a rock, I don't do it by hand. I usually throw it in my rock tumbler. Yes, I have a rock tumbler, and I'm kind of like a rock nerd. I love rocks. Nate bought me a rock tumbler probably like 3 years ago. It's just a National Geographic one, and you literally just throw a bunch of rocks in there with different types of sand grit and tumble it for hours. You change the grit and clean the rocks at every step, so on and so forth. And I actually have a little pile of rocks that I've tumbled. I don't know where all my rocks are. I usually put them on top of my houseplants, on top of the dirt, but here's a little pile that I could find that I have tumbled. And here, let me get a better view. You can see they're just really pretty looking, all the different colors, and some of them can shine up really nice. Some of them don't. These are all ones that have really shined up nice. And again, excuse my hands, they're really rough right now because I've been gardening and painting and things. So, but yeah, these are just some of the rocks that I've found and polished up. And again, these are all ones that I've done in my rock tumbler. So I have not done these ones by hand. Oh, that one's pretty. Yellow and white. But my Petoskey stone is kind of too big to put in my rock tumbler. My rock tumbler is only about this big. Actually, let me get it. I'll show you. Let me see if I can find it. This is my rock tumbler. You just put all the rocks in there, put the lid on, and it rolls around on this pump action thing. But anyway, it would be too big to like put in here with a bunch of other rocks. I'm just gonna do it by hand. And you want to dip it in the water every once in a while and just clean off that grit. But I can already feel it's like starting to smooth up a little. I'm jumping in here because I'm pretty sure I had another clip of me explaining what I'm doing, but I must not have pushed record. But basically I'm using a 120 grit piece of sandpaper and just sanding the rock and trying to get out all of the scratches and as much of the little divots as I can, and then we'll move on to the next step. But this step pretty much takes the longest amount of time. actually switched to my loose grit that I use in my, turn that down, that I use in my tumbler because I ran out of the sandpaper. So I'm basically I just have a little, like an old t-shirt, dip it in water, and then dip it in the loose grit, which I've got some of it on this cutting board here. And I'm just using this now to sand down. And I've probably been doing this for about 20 minutes. And between the paper and the loose grit. This step takes the longest because you have to get it as smooth as you can, get all the imperfections out as much as you can, because the higher grit you go, that can get into all the little like nooks and crannies and scratches and things, and it can leave like white spots or white streaks. So this step takes the longest, and I am actually working on a few white spots that you have to get out at this step. So for instance, I'll show you where we're at. It's looking pretty good though. Here, let me flip it. So it looks really good so far, but I really want to try to get like that out and those out. It's looking better, and like these along the edges here. And basically I just have to keep sanding that down. But I'm not gonna work on the back at all, although the back is really cool. Like, look at that. I might try to polish that out because that's a really neat Petoskey pattern right there. But yeah, I'm gonna just keep going and try to get all these white spots out, because this is the only time I can get those out at this step. All right, I cleaned all that up, and then I am using my 220 grit now. This is like the second step I would do if I was doing it in my tumbler. So it's just loose grit there, and we'll start going on that. But this is what it looks like so far. I wasn't able to get all that white out, but it is flat right there and smooth, so I think I'm just gonna keep going to the next step. I've been doing this step here for about, I don't know, 6 minutes or so. And I think it's probably as good as it's gonna get. Like I said, I never actually polished something like this by hand, so I'm not sure how this is gonna turn out, but it's kind of a fun little experiment. Just finish it up here, and then I will clean all of this up, dump out my water, clean off my cutting board, and we'll go with the next grit. But it's looking pretty good so far. I can see it really well when I hold it up like that, but all right, let's clean all this up and move on. I can't find my step 3 loose grit, but luckily I have some 400, I think. Yes, 400. And so we'll move on to that. So we've done 120, 220, and now I'm moving to 400. And then when we're done, I'll use Max. Found the pipe cleaners. When we're done, I'll use the polish, hopefully, and we'll see. I mean, it's worth a try, right? I'm gonna get this wet a little bit, and we will start going. I might actually cut this in half so it's easier to work with. All right, 400. What you doing, buddy? You find those pipe cleaners? Ooh, it's getting soft now. That back part right there is so cool looking. But it's looking really good. I wish I could have got those white spots out, but it's fine. It's about half dry right now. Let's see if I can dry it so you can see. It is starting to shine up just a tiny bit. But all right, that is dry. So you can see all those white spots I wish I would have gotten out. I mean, it is kind of like sparkly, so that's cool. But I mean, this is literally just sitting in my garden. I didn't even know it existed out there, so it's better than nothing. I would love to get those white spots out. So sparkly though. I think I'm gonna do another pass on this 400 grit and then move on to the polish. All right, I just have this 4-step final polish here. Again, this is what I would normally put in my tumbler. So I'm just putting a little bit in there. Hi, I'm jumping in here again because my music was way too loud. But basically, like I said, this is the powder I would normally put in the tumbler. I'm just cutting now a new piece of fabric to use because I don't want to mix any of the grit. And then I'm just gonna dip it in some of the water there and then dip it in the powder and start scrubbing the rock and see if we can get it polished up. White spots. I wish I could get those out, but I tried really hard. It's completely smooth and completely flat, so I'm not even sure how I would have been able to get those out without like a machine or something. But it's looking really good. This is completely dry. It's super soft to the touch. And it's shining up really nice. I love it. It's so cool. I cannot believe this. That this is just in my garden from when I probably brought it home from Lake Michigan. I might try to polish this corner up because I really like that corner. But the back, obviously, you know, like I said, I didn't do anything to. Yeah, this is completely dry. It's polishing up pretty nice. Looks pretty good. Super shiny. This is completely dry. These spots right here, these like darker spots, they're more indented and that's why it's looking like that. Next, you want to see my rock? It's pretty cool, huh? You want to play with it? Thank you guys so much for watching. I think it was super fun when I found this in the garden the other day. I thought it was really cool, but I kind of didn't think anything of it. And then after a few of you were like, that definitely looks like a Petoskey, you should shine it up. I was like, all right, well, I have all the things to shine it up, polish it up with, I might as well try. What are you doing? Yeah, I know that you don't like it out there. But you don't like it. You don't. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us while we polished up this rock, and I might do some more like tumbling movies this winter. That's what I like to do sometimes in the winter. I didn't show any of that last winter because I wasn't sure if anyone wanted to really watch it or if anyone cared, but I know a lot of you guys like rocks like I do, so we might do some tumbling movies here in the winter time. But for now, I'm gonna keep this probably on my table just so I can like feel it and touch it and stuff and look at it. And then, I don't know, I might put it back out in the garden. It might be kind of cool, like a little like Easter egg kind of a thing out in my garden. That might be a nice little conversation piece. But anyway, have a wonderful day. It was really nice to hang out with all of you guys. And Max, you want to say bye? You want to say bye, buddy? Max, you want to say bye? Bye.